And welcome back to Hermosa Beach Open right here in Hermosa Beach, California. A truly glorious and gorgeous environment. As you can see, a slight breeze on a hot day right here, nestled nicely on the West Coast in one of the most spectacular environments you can imagine. And well, we see seagulls and large birds flying about, scooping up small fish. No sharks in the water, but a whole lot of body surfing. That's been my experience so far here. I'm just feeling the flow and generally working it. Matt, what's it been like for you, just being out here talking?
Oh, it's nice to be back out here in California. You know, this is my third trip here, and announced Manhattan Beach a number of years ago. This is my first trip to Hermosa, and this town's been awesome. The support for beach volleyball has been absolutely incredible, and we're getting ready to rock and roll here on Stadium Court. I'm going to pass the microphone over to Miss Jess Gysin.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
We're going to announce everybody.
Oh, fantastic. Well, for those of you who don't know, Jess Gysin, a Californian in her own regard, and here she is, of course, just enjoying the view here. Hi, Jess. How you doing?
Hey, Luke. What's going on?
Well, not a whole lot, just watching what's taking place right here on center court. And, Jess, what a beautiful environment we have. We got a nice little breeze coming in. How's your day going?
We do. You know, the breeze is a factor out here. It's picking up a little bit. It'll be interesting. Should be a fun match here.
Totally. Well, getting ready for the action upcoming here on center court as Matt Romanowski is diving into who is going to be playing right here. And, of course, a couple of cats that you know. First and foremost, Mark Williams. What can you say about Mark? He's large and in charge.
He is very large. He's a lefty. He's a great player. He has been to the Olympics for Australia, I believe. So, and he is, of course, playing with Stein Metzger, a beach volleyball legend. So this should be interesting. He's a little bit older. I thought, retired, so he's coming back for this Hermosa Open, which is awesome.
You know, a lot of talk about Stein Metzger throughout the day, and we'll go into that a little bit deeper as the day transpires. But, of course, Evan Engle coming out and making it happen.
Yeah, Evan Engle's a great player. I know that him and Russ Marchewka haven't played together all that much because Evan's regular partner, Stafford Slick, went down with an ankle injury.
Okay. Well, you know, he's just one of those guys that's capable of making it happen. And here's Russ Marchewka. That guy has just got, he's got game. He and Evan Engle are looking to take it up against, well, as you mentioned, the legend. And folks, as I mentioned, I'm right here with Jess Gysin. And Jess, wow, let me ask you something personally. I mean, wherever I go, whenever there's a volleyball tournament in town, I always am seeing your picture. You're on the billboards everywhere. You're just a hot item for everyone to just behold. What is that like for you to walk into a hotel where maybe you've never been to before, and there's a picture of you standing in the lobby?
I mean, normally it's awesome and I love it, but the picture that they chose that's been plastered all over Hermosa, I am not a fan of. It's a terrible picture. So I wish they would take it.
You don't have input.
I wish they would take that down. But no, it's cool. You know, it's fun to promote the sport. I just wish it was a little bit hotter photo.
Absolutely. Hey, well, you know what? I didn't see anybody else complaining about it, so you might be alone in that regard. But hey, you know, I will try to let somebody know that maybe in the future they should find something that you're really happy
about. That I
about.
approve of.
Absolutely. Serves in right there. Marchewka sets it down right there. Stein Metzger showing why he's a legend, firing one to the sand. Nicely executed. So when's the first time you heard the name Stein Metzger? Give me some background here.
I mean, I've heard the name Stein forever, but you know, I wasn't out here on the beach when he was at the top of his game. So this is kind of new for me watching Stein play. Of course, I've heard great things about him. Legend out here. We have to see if he still has it, you know?
Absolutely. Looked like a bit of a net violation there. Evan Engle smacking the ball right there, doing his own bit of charming the 18 panel. And the husband of your former partner, there was a time when you and Crystal Engle were playing together, and she's a gal out here. Have you seen her in today's tournament?
I have. I think they're doing well. I know that they just road tripped out from Chicago for the last Cuervo tournament. So they've been on the road the last 4 weeks in their car, driving to all of our tournaments. They road tripped it out to Baltimore. They drove to Chicago, and they just drove out here. So I don't know if they've been getting training in or not. They've been in their little Prius, just trekking it.
They've been trekking it, keeping it real.
Yeah.
Well, Evan Engle, big shot off the block on the prior play. Dives for one right there, unable to dig that ball. And Jess, as I understand, you did a little bit of play with the XM Sirius radio. Was that today or was that yesterday? Or
that was yesterday. We did a Playboy radio interview. It was definitely interesting, to say the least.
I can imagine.
Yep.
I can imagine. And mostly chatting about volleyball?
Well, yeah, I mean, not so much volleyball as more about our outfits that we wear out here and how small they are, and the sex appeal of the sport was more of the topic of conversation as usual with Playboy, you know.
Oh, yes, of course. Looking to exploit that which sells magazines for them. I can only imagine.
Exactly.
Indeed. Well, how were your replies? I mean, did you feel as though you feel comfortable in that overall environment?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was loose, casual conversation. You know, a few girls didn't exactly have their tops on, but it made for an interesting time. That's for sure.
That's
never a dull moment.
Yeah. Nothing new there. You, of course, being female as well. Nothing outside of the casual country club gym environment. Yes, of course. Nothing new there. Anyways, back to the game. Here's Stein. Metzger fires one in. Evan Engle finds a Marchewka with a decent set. And Engle inside the block of Mark Williams. Nice big heavy smack there.
Here in game number 1.
Well, Jess, I'm going to give you an opportunity now for a little bit of promotion. Oakley is, one of the companies that I see most sported typically while you're out there playing. How's that going?
Oakley's awesome. One of the greatest brands to be involved with. You know, they're making great apparel, not just eyewear, but awesome suits, really cool jackets. You know, they kind of resemble the Lululemon type feel. It's just, I love Oakley. They're a really cool company, and I actually have to fly out tonight to Miami to do a Oakley fashion show for Miami Fashion Week.
Is that
tomorrow?
right?
Tomorrow, yeah. So there's always something with them.
And you're playing in the tournament, so how does that work?
Well, unfortunately, we lost today, so I'm out, and you know, I had my flight booked in advance, so we're taking off tonight and doing this Oakley Fashion Week with Kate Upton.
Cool.
She's the host, so it should be cool.
Very, very cool. Congratulations on all your success there, Jess, guys.
Well, thank you,
Luke. Just a pleasure. So I saw that you were playing with Jen Schneider. How was your experience in the tournament this weekend?
You know, it was good. It was hard because we only got 3 practices in together. We've both been kind of bouncing around from partner to partner, and we've kind of committed to play the next few tournaments together. But it's hard, you know, doing the partner shuffle, trying to get comfortable together on the court. You know, not the result we wanted, but we're ready to work hard and get after the next few tournaments.
Well, copy that. So right here on center court, of course, folks, Engle Marchewka down 4-5, getting ready for the serve. Here comes Marchewka. And Jess, I got one more question for you before we let you go. Let me hit you with this. What's going on in the women's side of beach volleyball at these tournaments? Who's kind of the team to beat? Obviously, Jenny Kropp, Whitney Pavlik have won each tournament. But are there teams out there which everyone's talking about? Is there some hype surrounding a particular duo?
You know, I'd have to go with Kristen Batt and Raquel Fajera. I'm not sure how to say her last name.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
They're a new partnership.
One second here, Jess. Let me just interrupt you. There's some discussion taking place on this particular play.
It's hard to see.
A touch in there. And that was that point. And a lot of flack being given to the judge and a yellow card being awarded right now.
You know, this is what the crowd wants to see. They like a little drama, a little yellow cards, maybe even a red card. They love it when the players get.
Oh, Stein Metzger just letting them know.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, says Stein.
There's got to be something different.
I love the microphones.
I love the mic. This is great.
That's the biggest, weirdest, bad call right now.
I think they need to start miking volleyball players like they do in the NBA.
I can't believe you didn't see it. These guys
As we listen in here. And Stein Metzger obviously just generally in full-scale physical and mental disagreement with whatever that judge has said. And as we look back here, it's found there by Evan Engle. Engle shoots it. And that, of course, inside the antenna. However,
and the referee called it outside, which would be a violation. But clearly on the replay, it was inside the antenna. Looks like they're very frustrated with this call.
So Stein, no doubt frustrated with the call there, but also being awarded a yellow card. So they've received kind of a 2-point deduction there, if you will. Is that correct, Jess? No. No, it looks like it's been withdrawn.
About 3 minutes.
No, you know, yellow card's yellow card, no point deductions. Moving on, just a little delay of game there. It took about 10 minutes to dispute that one.
Indeed. Well, no withdrawal there. Pardon, I misspoke. Just a suspicion of my own as Metzger fires to the line right there, and potentially getting a little bit of his frustration out, if you will.
Yeah, you know, as they say, ball never lies.
Ball never lies. Well said. Well, Jess, Gysin, we'll let you go. We just thank you so much for coming up here, and it's been a real, just genuine pleasure.
Just a great pleasure, Luke, as always.
Indeed, and we wish you, of course, the best of luck in Miami tomorrow as you continue to showcase the Oakley product, and just let the world know that beauty in sports always can coincide.
I love it.
All right, well, thanks, Jess. You're a doll, you're a sweetheart, and we thank you for coming out.
Thanks, guys.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's good to hear from Jess Gysin, one of the rising stars in beach volleyball. And as she said, she's just jumping on a jet plane tonight, heading to Miami to do a shoot. Must be nice. Jess, an outstanding college player and Hall of Famer in her high school here in California. And here is Mark Williams going after Evan Engle. The set by Marchewka. Engle up with a pokey off the block there, Marchewka. And Marchewka scores off the block.
Well, so Matt Romanowski, maybe you can decipher what took place in that little exchange.
What happened was the shot by Mark Williams was called on the outside of the antenna. Clearly, if we looked at the replay, it was on the inside. The referee called it on the outside, and Metzger and Williams going absolutely nuts. They were given a yellow card. A yellow card is basically a warning. And Mark Williams, again, right behind that, was given another warning of the yellow card. So the next outburst, if you will be a red card, and that will be a point awarded to the other team.
So a yellow card, merely a warning. A red card gives a point to the opposition.
And typically, you'll receive a yellow card as a player individually, and then if you act out again in a way, they'll give you the red card.
Okay. Similar to what we've seen in football matches the world around.
I like
2 yellows will incur a red.
And here we go, Metzger. Again, already 18 career wins. Gonna float serve going after Evan Engle. Marchewka on 2 and just drops it. Oh, and that fires Marchewka up.
Oh, Marchewka, you know, connections like that are just fantastic.
Evan Engle back to serve.
On 2, just pounding the ball to the sand.
Here is Engle going after Metzger. Williams with the set, Metzger. Metzger. Metzger just full of some crafty shots. We've seen some sick 2 balls off of. Looks like he's gonna set the ball. He does a little back pokey. He's got some great cut shots. One of the great pokey shotters, if you will, in the game of beach volleyball. But here is Mark Williams ripping it, going after Marchewka, mixing it up. Set in the middle, Marchewka. Nice shot by Russ Marchewka.
Woo. Nice little outside cutty tap, just rolling the ball over the net, elevating to meet the Spalding, and then just changing its direction, not needing to pound that ball onward. Here comes Marchewka. The right hand fires down, found by Stein. Metzger. Williams sets Metzger with the knuckle poke, and that one's in. Look at this. Looks like he's coming up to spike that ball with some serious power. However, Metzger brings in the phantom knuckler.
The old knuckle pokey. And here's a look at Stein Metzger. Deep floaty to Marchewka. And Russ. Oh, Russ Marchewka blocked. Stuffed by Mark Williams.
Mark Williams got to feel good about that. Williams really getting a hold of that particular ball, coming in with some serious heat, pushing that back and expanding the lead. 11-9. It sits right now. One ball in until the timeout. Here comes Marchewka. Touches it. Metzger finds it. And Williams, but Engle gets it, and it's back and forth they go. Stein Metzger puts it down over the top, and that one comes just inside. Well, folks, we're going to go to a timeout right now for both teams. Right after a replay, let's take a look back at what took place in that spectacular rally that we just witnessed. There's Williams. Engle gets down, hard hammer, and watch Metzger get up to finish the exchange. Jumbo all the way to the back, folks. Stay with us because they're coming back in game one right here. We welcome you out here to the Jose Cuervo Pro Beach Volleyball Series Hermosa Beach Open as we get right back into the action.
Over to Marchewka, and Marchewka's cut shot sails just out.
Walking the tightrope a bit there on his mission out of bounds.
Just out, sort of point for Metzger Williams, 13-9.
So Engle, Marchewka losing the point there. Stein Metzger, Mark Williams expanding their lead to 4 points. Here's Stein Metzger.
And the deep floaty to Marchewka. Marchewka up, ripping it off the block. Big swing for the point. 10-13 is our score here on Stadium Court. Hope you're enjoying our broadcast, watching us online at JoseCuervoProBeachVolleyballSeries.com. And we'll be broadcasting all day tomorrow, Luke. Over to Williams. Here's the set by Metzger. Williams picked up by Engle. And Evan Engle scores cross court.
Evan Engle with the pickup. That scores cross court for the point. 11-13.
Evan Engle will step back into the launch pad, set to fire 11-13. Engle catches just the bottom side of that tape where centimeters make a difference.
Mark Williams back to serve.
Here comes Mark Williams.
Over to Evan Engle. Engle up. And nice little dicey. Little cut shot around the block. Cross court by Evan Engle. Lands in for the point.
Evan Engle doing a great bit of play so far at the net. Digging some quality balls as well prior to the timeout. We saw him bring up a very hard smackdown from the likes of Mark Williams. Williams with a great looking pass. There's the left hand smack, and that ball is in. Good for the point right there for Williams. The crusher.
15-12.
So playing alongside Stein Metzger out here, Matt, what kind of honor would that be for someone like Mark Williams? I mean, is that the type of thing where you just keep your head about you and you just
well,
play?
Mark Williams is no stranger to the big stage. He was on the Olympic team for Australia. He's been a fantastic player for many years, been in many Final Fours, been in many finals, has one career win. So this team, I mean, they've played together and dominated together as a team before.
Wow, fantastic. Well, virtually paralleling the skill of Stein Metzger there.
Two different.
Two very different players. However, just making big things happen out there without question. Evan Engle stepping back ready to make it happen. 13-15 on the scoreboard here. Engle tosses it up. Here comes the right hand. Nice smack found by Williams. Metzger sets, and Williams top rolls it over the block of Russ Marchewka.
Lands in for the point over the block, 16-13.
And as we take a look at Stein Metzger, who will pass the ball off to partner Mark Williams, and Mark will step back to serve again. Mark playing for the national team on the Olympics for Australia, has one career win. Gonna jump it into play over to Evan Engle, swings around the back. Evan rips it down the line.
Evan.
Oh my gracious. He went ahead and just crushed this. Here's that right hand. Bam. Wow. Just
tough play to make. Luke swinging around the back on the back set, just catching it in the right spot, just ripping it down the line. Big swing. Great set by Marchewka. Gonna go after Metzger. Metzger in the middle. Metzger into the pokey. Picked up by Engle. On two. Picked up by Williams. The set by Metzger. Williams, chance to score, and he does.
How about that rally, ladies and gentlemen?
I find myself experiencing a sense of surprise at how that play transpired. Things looked as though they were going to go to the direction of Marchewka Engle, but with a spectacular turn of events, Williams buries it for the point. 17-14. Marchewka finds it. Here's Engle, hammers the one-handed stab of Stein. Metzger sends it back. Marchewka looks to finish and does.
Russ Marchewka. 15-17. Evan Engle back to serve.
Big swing cross court by Russ Marchewka. Catching the corner for the point. And here is Evan Engle. Of course, married to Crystal Engle, another professional on the women's side, as you talked about before with Jess Gysin. Crystal teaming up with Teely Hunkus, having a great tournament in Chicago. And then again, playing this tournament today and having a pretty good day so far here in Hermosa Beach. As we take a look at Mark Williams stepping back to serve. Floaty. Picked up by Evan Engle. Pushed outside Engle, ripping cross court for the point.
Evan Engle with a really serious right hand that is not afraid to whip that ball down and in. Almost reminiscent for me of Aaron Wach-Fogel with that really strong shoulder, just powering that ball down and in. Evan Engle having some very serious hits thus far.
Taking a look at Marchewka, rips it over to Williams. Here's a set by Metzger. Williams up, and Williams!
Holy! Mark Williams with an early jump inside the block, slams that ball with a quick fly swatter style slap. Right side angle shot, that ball falls down and in, good for the point. That's gonna make things 19-16. Here's Stein Metzger tossing the Spalding, little lofty shot, real short. And Williams brings us to game point.
Taps it down for the point. 2016, Stein Metzger back to serve.
Well, Mark Williams making big things happen up there at the net. Well found by Marchewka. Engle sets. Marchewka with an opportunity for the point. But here comes Williams. Can he score? And that's the game. Game number one going to Mark Williams and Stein Metzger. They prevail over Evan Engle and Russ Marchewka as we take a look back at that final point. Here it is. Nice little punch upward as Stein Metzger with the top rolling set and finished well by Mark Williams. Stay with us, folks, because we're coming right back for game number 2 from the Hermosa Beach Open. All right, folks, welcome back to the Jose Cuervo Pro Beach Volleyball Series 2012. Stop number 4 here at the Hermosa Beach Open. Alongside Matt Romanowski, I'm Luke Van Valen. And Matt, we just saw game 1 where Stein, Metzger, and Mark Williams prevailed over Evan Engle and Russ Marchewka. And now we're starting off game number 2.
Line, go! One up, line.
And a nice pickup off the block. Metzger, great set to Williams, who taps it off the hands of Marchewka. 1-0. Metzger-Williams just playing a little more solid volleyball in that first game, much more consistent, siding out more consistently, and making all the right shots to take game number 1, 21-16 to Marchewka. And Marchewka rips it off the hands of Williams.
Marchewka.
Well, despite struggling a bit early on with a call that they had a general disagreement with, not letting emotions drive the vehicle, but allowing them to be potentially a passenger there, and they moved on to win the game. Metzger and Williams now set to receive. Here comes Russ Marchewka. Ooh, well passed from Williams. High spinning ball. Williams fires. Well grabbed by Engle. Marchewka with a good looking set and finished well by Evan Engle.
Nice dig, followed by the ripper down the line for points.
Here's a look back at a glorious exchange, and Engle finishing so well.
Great snap down the line by Evan Engle for the point. Here is Russ Marchewka. The jump serve, rips it cross court, passed by Williams. Metzger's there, Williams. Nice high looping shot over the block, Mark Williams.
Oh man, nice looking top rolling shot right there from Williams. He tosses that one in, good for the point. It's gonna knot things up at 2 here on Stadium Court. This men's action winding down for the day. Don't forget, folks, we'll be bringing you live coverage all day tomorrow as things transpire. And as we saw in Chicago and all tournaments prior, things really come in full circle and delivering something that you'll want to behold. Here's Evan Engle. He fires that Spalding in nicely. Here comes Williams. Well grabbed with a big knuckler from Engle. He hammers again, wound up. Stein, Metzger finds it. And Metzger hammers off the tape and out of bounds that time around. A cat like that, firing one just out off the tape. Well, I would call it slightly uncharacteristic given the nature of what I've been preview to and, well, witnessing consistently thus far in the match. Metzger's got a very accurate hand upon him. Here he comes. Oh, little touch. The knuckler this time coming in with some craftiness. What a wild man. Potentially part of being a legendary athlete is keeping the opposition guessing. Well, certainly keeping me guessing with moves like that. Three-4. Marchewka finds it. Here's Engle with a good-looking set. Not a touch of spin on that ball. And Marchewka feasts. Snapping that ball hard outside. Spalding, of course, the proud sponsor out here. The only ball used. Jose Cuervo Pro Beach Volleyball action. Big smack. That ball is over. Here comes the set from Engle. Chuka slams it. Nicely done, opting to not dive into a huge hit, but more a accurate top cutty shot, which is seemingly always appropriate. Of course, there comes a time when a man simply must feast. Ooh, just outside the ace opportunity.
Marchewka just out. 4-6.
And a replay in the booth confirms that that ball was out. Despite some questions coming both from the athletes and no doubt from some of the spectators out here in a large stadium court.
Here is Williams going after Metzger. The back set is on the back. Nice high looping shot down the line.
Engle representing the definitive nature of general consistency, I would venture to say. As he tosses the old 18 panel up, gives it the old right hand, and that ball flies out.
Just a bit long.
Hopefully he won't remain consistent with long shots such as that. Metzger with a lofty ball in, running around the set, looking for the left-hand poke. Here comes another opportunity, a little off the net, slams it down in between. That is a tough ball to communicate about from a defensive perspective. Here, as you can see, Engle elevates, Williams says no, and Metzger is down on one knee, the ball just out of reach.
Here is Russ Marchewka. Stepping back to serve, jumper, rips it and finds the net. Good for a point as we switch sides, 6-8.
Well, no question about some velocity behind that ball. I think potentially Marchewka feeling a bit ambitious on that particular undertaking.
Yeah, the wind kind of swirling. Russ Marchewka just putting in the, trying to serve the ball tough to Metzger and Williams, who both are veterans, of course. Beach volleyball have outstanding ball control. Trying to keep them on their toes. Here's Mark Williams going right down the middle, passed well by Marchewka. The set. And Williams is there, picked up. Engle with the dig. Tight set. Pokey picked up by Marchewka. Went over. And Mark Williams there to tap it down. Marchewka with a chance. Little shaky pass there. It sailed over the net, and Williams there to feast. As we take a look at the replay. Little tight set, and Engle there with the poke, picked up by Marchewka, who just sails it right over, right back to Williams with an easy point.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a timeout.
And we have a timeout right now, folks. And of course, a lot of folks just running around this area. You can see them coming off the boardwalk, and this entire environment completely flooded with folks. Once again, folks, I'm Luke Van Valen, joined here by Matt Romanowski. And Matt, already a great day. I mean, things just really going well, I would certainly say.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the crowds have been great all day. The volleyball's been fantastic, especially on the men's and women's side. And, you know, we have Kropp and Pavlik still undefeated so far. They're advancing to tomorrow. Brooke Sweat and Jen Fatma will advance to tomorrow. All these teams undefeated so far. Raquel Fajeda, Kristen Batt, we saw them earlier here today. They're advancing to Sunday as well. All those teams on the women's side undefeated. So again, on the men's side, as we continue to watch the men's out here, Hayden and Scott will advance to tomorrow. They've been undefeated so far. We've had some great matches here on Stadium Court all day, Luke.
Well, if you were a betting man, who would you say that we're going to see in the final on the men's side of things? I mean, if you would, who's playing exceptionally well? Who could be there?
Well, of course, Hayden and Scott have been so dominant over the last few years, winning the first tournament of the year. Sean Scott injured for the second one. They just came back. Took a 5th last week. I would have to say Hayden and Scott, if they're playing at their top, are probably going to wind up in the finals. The team they're facing off against, that's a crapshoot right now at this point. There's so many men's teams that are playing so well. I mean, last week we saw Avery Dross and Ty Tremblay in the finals, but you can never count out the 7-footer, the Avatar, and Casey Patterson. I always like that to see them in the finals. They're playing so well, even though losing to Hayden and Scott earlier today.
Sure. Well, had a chance to catch up with Sean Scott earlier today, asked him about the back situation, said that the back is feeling better. I asked him what was the main problem. He said getting old. So I guess we're all...
the father of two getting old.
Oh,
That's a big
Marchewka.
rip by Marchewka.
Marchewka. 9-7.
And Engle and Marchewka leading now. 9-7, 2-point spread. Of course, they lost game number 1, needing this game to push that third and final.
And that serve sailing just a bit out. Evan Engle ripping it cross court and missing it by inches. Here is Stein Metzger. 18 career wins, 2-time Olympian. A little deep floater to Evan Engle. Passed well. Engle up. Nice little cut shot out of reach.
Evan Engle. Little cutty. Tight. Marchewka back to serve.
Here's Russ Marchewka set to serve. 10-8. Hammering the ball. Well found by Mark Williams. Williams jumps up. Whoa! Big dig from Evan Engle. Can he finish? And he does! And friends and fans alike, even potentially those who are supporting the opponents, have to say hello to that.
Mark Williams just dropping that ball, and an outstanding dig by Engle, then jacked up, rips it down the middle.
Oh, man.
Point for his team, 11-8.
Here's Russ Marchewka, tosses the ball high. This time grabs it and hurls it toward the net. Mark Williams stepping back to serve now. We got 9-11.
Service.
And here is, of course, Mark Williams, an Olympian for Australia. The jumper to Russ Marchewka. Set out to Marchewka. Oh, Marchewka, nice little cut shot cross court.
Russ Marchewka, a little cutting cross court as both teams head on over to the players' box. We'll take a little break, ladies and gentlemen. 12-9 on the board. How about a round of applause for Hermosa Beach?
Well, folks, as you can see, the sun glimmering off the ocean sea. We know only, excuse me, as Pacific, and of course, a lot of action been taking place on the pier here today. It looked like there was a huge gathering earlier today. It appeared that a surfer of potentially legendary status, who could possibly know, has passed. And that, of course, suspicion, but as surfers do, represent the cultural greatness of what is taking place out there. And just feeling the culture around here. I got to be honest, it's sort of just ventilates from the people, from the shops, the restaurants, all lining the beach here in Hermosa. Just kind of a pervasive beach culture here.
Oh, absolutely, Luke. I'm from the East Coast, Ocean City, Maryland, but you come out here, I tell all my buddies back home to play volleyball, or any of them, you got to come to Hermosa. You got to come to Manhattan. It's like the birthplace of beach volleyball. There's volleyball nets everywhere. The town is really awesome. A lot of great bars and shops, and you know, Hermosa Beach is just absolutely incredible. And the fans here, like we talked about it all day, have been absolutely fantastic. As we go back to Stadium Court and we look at Evan Engle stepping back to serve. And here is Engle, passed by Steino. Metzger up, and Metzger, so good. It's high looping shot of the block, lands in for the point.
So is it accurate that this is your first time here in Hermosa?
This is my first time here in Hermosa. I've been to Manhattan, but I've never made the trek down when I was in Manhattan Beach. We can see the Manhattan Beach Pier from here, but never got down to Hermosa, and I love it. I love it. I'm moving the wife and kids out here. We're on our way.
Beautiful. Romanowski on the way out. Engle fires hard off the block of Mark Williams. And very, very difficult to penetrate that particular block as he heads up. An extremely capable hit, which has been scoring points all day, impeded right there by the hand of Mark Williams. Here he comes again. Williams at the net. This time, a softer shot finds the sand. Good for the point.
Mark Williams doing a great job. Just an outstanding blocker of waiting, of being patient and waiting. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of blockers make is getting off the sand just a little too early. Williams, textbook on that last block on Evan Engle. Then Evan Engle, of course, responds with a little rolling. Here is Marchewka, passed by Williams, set by Steino. Williams, oh,
crusher.
Mark Williams.
Mark Williams, one of those guys who has the long arms and is really able to seemingly utilize the centrifugal motion therein to generate some pretty serious downward force whence he strikes the ball.
I'll tell you, Mark Williams has a heavy hand. You talk about beach volleyball players having a heavy hand. When he gets a hold of the ball, it's an absolute rocket. And, of course, Williams and Metzger playing very well, getting a third in Chicago. And we never got a chance to see that team come to Stadium Court, and they've been here twice today, and it has been a real treat watching these two veterans play.
A nice little knuckle shot right there from Stein Metzger. He finds the line. And for those of you not privy to the rules around here, the line is, in fact, in.
Talk to any of the volleyball players who've seen Stein Metzger play. They say Stein Metzger is one of the best knuckle pokey players out there. So good at disguising it, so good at holding it to the last minute that it's tough to get to that shot. Here is Marchewka. And Marchewka scores off the block.
And some quality sportsmanship right there from Russ Marchewka, picking up Mark Williams, saying, come on, player, let's keep this party going, after catching him right in the cheek. Big hit off the face.
15-13 is our score. Engle, Marchewka again. Luke, I know you mentioned if you're just joining us, Metzger and Williams winning game number 1. Engle and Marchewka trying to even things up. This is an elimination match. The loser goes home. The winner will advance to Sunday to our early round match at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I believe the winner of this match will face off against Rambis and Lambeau, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. And here is Marchewka ripping it. And Marchewka's jump serve just not happening here in game number 2. And again, they still hold on to the point advantage. And again, Russ really just going for it, and that's his 4th serve into the net here in game number 2.
He's a good kid, and he's trying super hard, but it's sometimes just not really going. However, the big right-handed spike is working well. And the machine itself seemingly well-oiled on the arm of Russ Marchewka when he's jumping up in the air and smacking him down like that. Here's Evan Engle set to fire, 16-14, 2-point spread as Engle sets to serve. Mark Williams, good looking set, and Metzger, tricky stuff. Juking out the defense a little bit there, then putting it down the line. Hammering that ball just a little bit to the left. And there's Stein Metzger as he's some signals being thrown out right there.
The signals right there, of course, for new to beach volleyball. 2 meaning the 2 call means he's blocking angle. And 1 finger means he's blocking line. And Mark Williams into the angle again. 2 blocks back to back. Williams again for a 3rd time, picked up by Steino. Williams to score, dug by Engle out of reach, and Williams does it.
Well, I would suppose that if there were a man of the match for that particular play, there'd be no question that it's within reach of Mark Williams. Spectacular stuff right there. Of course, an efficient defender when he's up at the net. And I would say most players, virtually all players so far in this game, really striking it out. Now up at 16, the score certainly shows it all.
White Scaragolder to court 2, please.
16 apiece, Stein Metzger.
Watch on 2 now. Watch it, watch it. Stein, Jordan!
And an angled shot sent over, nice big right hand. Top rolly beauty from Russ Marchewka. He's back to serve, and as we mentioned prior, been struggling a little bit, had a tumultuous ongoing so far with his work from the service department. We'll see if he's able to bring this one in. 17-16, that ball comes in with some velocity. Little touch from Metzger, lining up Marchewka, but huge block from Stein Metzger.
Oh. 17 all. Stein Metzger.
Wow.
Wow. Outstanding block by Stein Metzger. Just long arms on Stein Metzger, only 6'2", but a huge reach. Going after Russ Marchewka. Again, swings around the back. And Marchewka scores off of Mark Williams as we switch sides.
And Marchewka with a big swing off the hands of Williams as we switch sides.
Well, as Matt said, side change underway. It's going to make things 18-17. Evan Engle back to the launch pad. Ready to put this ball into play. They're up by 1, needing this game.
Over to Metzger. Set out to Metzger. Metzger up, and Metzger!
Smashing that ball down and in. Hard snap downward, elevating first, and then focusing on that shot seemingly. Powering that ball in, hard angle shot. That one finds the sand, good for the point. 18 apiece. Here's Metzger again. Metzger fires the ball in. Evan Engle finds it. Marchewka with the set. Good touch, but Metzger's there. Mark Williams fires that ball up. It's down, but dug by Evan Engle, fighting at the net as Metzger sends one back off the knuckle. Good for the point, and they take the lead in the latter part of game 2. We take a look back. Great battle at the net, and Metzger with just the little knuckle pokey. You mentioned he's a stallion.
All day long, that knuckle pokey, dangerous. Passed by Engle. Here's the set to Marchewka. Engle. Nice turn down the line by Evan Engle.
Engle puts that ball in just short of the line.
Russ Marchewka back to serve.
Now Russ Marchewka again with his jumper. Hasn't been consistent. It's 19 all, 2 points away from advancing. Let's see what Russ does here if he takes a little off the jumper. Set to launch. And he rips it. Big serve, clutch serve. Passed by Steino. Steino dug by Engle. Engle chance to score and take the lead. Dug by Metzger, and it is upped by Marchewka. Laying out, what a set by Engle. Picked up by Metzger. Williams is there with the set. Cuddy, and it lands on the
Oh, lay exchange, back and forth. The teams go. Let's take a look back. Big hit right there. Look at the dive from Russ Marchewka as he fires it back and in. Stein Metzger getting down off the net, and Metzger puts it in. Unbelievable. Metzger Williams at match point as we take a timeout. The athletes knocking some of the sand off, cleaning the shades. No sips of water for Metzger and Williams as they head straight back to the court, hoping to keep the momentum derived from that last exchange going.
On a Saturday here in Hermosa Beach, and we have match points for Metzger and Williams. Service.
And
Williams.
not a soul leaving their seats right now. Mark Williams sets back to serve, match point. Can they do it in 2? Williams sets in, nice high ball found by Engle. Here's Marchewka with the set. Engle with a chance to score, but found. Look at that, and they have scored and saved match point. Evan Engle with great work at the net. That was a bit of a showdown.
Wow, Evan Engle. His first block attempt of the game, and it's good for the point. And here's Evan, 20 all. Trying to extend it to 3 to keep their tournament hopes alive. Here is Evan Engle going after Metzger. Set by Williams. Metzger up, and Metzger!
Hard outside angle shot from Stein Metzger.
Match point number 2.
Beautiful hit.
Back to serve.
Right inside the block. And here's Stein Metzger to serve.
Luke, here we go. Stein Metzger to advance. A little floaty going after Engle. A set by Marchewka. Engle up. And dug by Metzger, out of bounds.
Well, that'll do it, keeping them in the game. 21 apiece on the side change.
21 all here in game number 2.
Mark Williams and Stein Metzger so far have had 2 opportunities to end it in 2, but hanging on. Russ Marchewka and Evan Engle.
Service. Russ Marchewka.
Here comes Russ Marchewka from the launch pad. He's got the 18 panel set to fire. Ball's up, the jump serve he's had trouble with. This time it's in. Here comes Stein Metzger, another pokey to the sand.
Metzger.
So accurate
Match point number 3 for
with
Williams.
those knuckles.
Metzger. Service, Williams.
And Mark Williams set to serve right now. Match point number 3. Williams fires it in and rushes to the net. Here's Evan Engle, back sets for Marchewka. Marchewka down the line, it's found by Metzger, and here's a chance. And that is game, set, match. Stein Metzger puts it in with another ball off the knuckles, just over the block. Mark Williams and Stein Metzger take it over Evan Engle and Russ Marchewka. What a battle it was out here on center court as we take a look back at match point. Well found right there. Here's the back set from Engle. Marchewka thinks a soft shot down the line, but Stein Metzger was there. And comes
Luke,
up nicely.
There it is, closing out the match with the knuckle pokey, the signature Steino, and he does it. And a great match as Stein Metzger and Mark Williams advance. And we're going to go to a little break with some final thoughts right after this Jose Cuervo Pro Beach Volleyball Series Hermosa Beach Open.